Good morning, guys. I hope you had a great break. So now that we're back, I'm super excited to continue that process of writing our letters to our representatives. Thank you to those of you who volunteered to actually help me send those letters to our senators and our Congress people. Today's lesson is all about understanding what an actual professional letter to a representative looks like. And we're going to figure that out by looking at an exemplar letter from one of my students last year. Now, before we go forward, today we are beginning the process of looking at the structure of our letter. Tomorrow, you guys will begin outlining your letter. Now, you should have over break completed your research graphic organizer, all of the research for your letter. Your research graphic organizer is the one that looked like this. Okay. You should have read 5 articles over break and filled in 5 rows of your research graphic organizer. If you have not yet done that, you definitely need to use today to not only do today's lesson, but to catch up. Please reach out to me right away if you have not yet completed your research, because that is a big part of your final grade for this project. All right, so back to today's daily packet. So if you scroll to the second page of today's daily packet, you get to our backwards outlining page. Backwards outlining is a great strategy for making sure that all of the parts of your letter, or all of the requirements of an assignment, or all the requirements of your letter are actually in your letter. So we're going to use backwards outlining today to learn about what should go in a professional letter to our representative. We're going to end up filling out this whole outline using a sample letter. So first, let's click on the sample letter from last year. And if you can, split your screen. So splitting your screen means on one half, you've got one tab open. On the other half, you've got another tab open. If you can split your screen, that would be ideal. Okay, so I've got my exemplar letter on one side, and this is just an example letter from last year. You'll notice that the example letter, it's just 3 paragraphs. 1, 2, 3. Okay? Your outline is also divided into 3 paragraphs. Paragraph 1, the introduction. Paragraph 2, reasoning evidence. Paragraph 3, personal connection, knowledge of American government. Okay? This person has the same 3 paragraphs. What needs to go in each paragraph is specified for you throughout the outline, is told to you throughout the outline. You will start filling in this outline for your letter tomorrow. But today, we're going to do a protocol called backwards outlining. We're actually going to fill in this outline. We're going to answer these questions based on the information available in the sample letter. So here we go. Let's begin by reading the first paragraph of the example letter. So now I'm on the left-hand side of my screen. I've highlighted what I'm going to read. My dear Senator Gillibrand, my name is Lizzie. I am a 7th grader at MS 390 writing this letter to my representative as part of a class assignment. I know many people who are immigrants, and I believe that long-term immigrants who don't have a criminal record should be able to get a green card after living in the US for a certain number of years. Just because someone isn't a citizen doesn't mean they aren't a person. I believe that immigrants should be able to get papers unless they have a criminal record, because immigrants are willing to do jobs that most Americans don't want to do. Immigrants are always constantly targeted. It's scary living not knowing if one day you might be forced to leave everything you know. Immigrants also have made families in America. So that's this person's intro paragraph. Now let's look at the sample letter, the letter to our representative outline. Paragraph 1, Introduction. Introduce yourself in 2 to 3 sentences. You might explain that you are a student at HVA writing to your representative as part of a class assignment. So the first question in our outline is, who are you? Let's look back and find the sentence that Lizzie uses in the example letter to answer that question. We'll notice that in the very first sentence, she explains her name is Lizzie, that she's a 7th grader at MS 390. She's writing the letter as part of a class assignment. Okay. So I'm going to highlight that first sentence because it does answer that question, who are you? And you're literally going to copy and paste. You're finding the answers to the questions according to the actual letter. So why are you writing this letter? Why are you writing about this topic specifically? Now, if I'm looking through the intro, maybe there's not one sentence that directly answers this question, but I can tell from Lizzie's introduction that she cares about this issue, and she does say that she knows many people who are immigrants. Are immigrants. So I'm going to write that down for question number 2. Question number 3. Question number 3. So now I need to look back into my sample letter to find the answer to question number 3. What is your, meaning Lizzie's, opinion on the issue, event, or problem? If appropriate, what do you want your representative to do? Now, if we look back in Lizzie's introduction, I do remember a sentence when she specifically asks her representative to do something. Let's look. I know many people who are immigrants, and I believe that long-term immigrants who don't have a criminal record should be able to get a green card after living in the US for a certain number of years. Okay, so in this one sentence, Lizzie is asking her representative to do something. She's stating her opinion on what she wants. So she's answered question number 3. So I'm just going to copy the sentence. I'm going to go ahead and paste it in for question number 3. Okay, so now we could continue and outline the reasons, 1, 2, 3, that Lizzie uses to support her opinion that immigrants should be able to get a green card after living in the US for a certain number of years. Let's just find the first one together. So here we go. I know many people who are immigrants, and I believe that long-term immigrants who don't have a criminal record should be able to get a green card after living in the US for a certain number of years. Just because someone isn't a citizen doesn't mean that they aren't a person. I believe that immigrants should be able to get papers unless they have a criminal record because, okay, so I see that word because, so I know reasons are coming. Immigrants are willing to do jobs that most Americans don't want to do. Immigrants are willing to do jobs that most Americans don't want to do. That seems like a very clear reason that Lizzie has offered. So for reason 1, I'm going to say that Lizzie says immigrants are willing to do jobs most Americans aren't willing to do. If I continued outlining, I could find the second reason Lizzie gives to support her opinion, the third reason as well. Then I would go on to paragraph 2, both in my outline and in the sample letter. And I'm going to continue to fill in the outline according to Lizzie's letter, according to the sample letter. So you are not answering these questions for yourself. You are answering them according to the information in the sample letter.